Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Murder y Comadriando a la Distancia.
Hi.
Hello, guys.
And
So,
today, the person that's going to read the case is Emerald.
okay. So I'm gonna be reading it. It's not too long of a story, but it does have some details I didn't want to mess up. Okay. So usually, for the most part, we all do our own research on a case, even though one person is going to be the specific one to be reading it and detailing it to us. But today, because of last week's episode, we were talking about embalming and waxing, and I remembered a case that I had read about. And so Rosa and Gina don't know what we're reading about today. They have no idea. Excuse if you can see is that better? The reflection of the light in my glasses. I'm a little blind,
No
but
matter how we see it, you got to see, you got to read it.
no,
Yeah.
I'm fine. It's just I don't know if it affects you guys, like the ring light
No.
for my glasses. No? Okay. So let's get started. It's a surprise for China and Rosa. I don't know if either one of you guys have heard this case. Um, I'm thinking maybe China has, but because she listens to a lot of true crime. So
Yeah.
she might. As soon as I start, once I get to a certain detail, she's gonna be like, oh, I know which one this is. Okay?
Like,
So let's see how it goes. Okay. You know, I think I'm gonna do. I'll be fine without my glasses to do it. So on February 8th, 1877, in Dresden, Germany, a baby boy is born. His name is George Carl Tanzler. He grew up in Germany and ended up in Australia right before World War I started. According to his autobiography, while in Australia, he became interested in engineering and electrical work. He bought property, boats, an organ, which is like one of those big pianos, and an island in the Pacific. When World War I broke out, because of his German nationality, he was taken and kept in a concentration camp for safekeeping. When the war ended, he was released. And around the year 1920, George returns to Germany and marries Doris Schaefer. They have two daughters, Aisha Tanzler and Clarissa Tanzler. Unfortunately, Clarissa died at the age of 10 due to, I might mispronounce this, diphtheria. And what that is, it's a bacteria infection. And it first starts off asymptomatic, so you don't really feel much, but then it can cause fever, cough. It can create gray or white patches in your throat, kind of where your tonsils are. And it can cause your neck to swell up and even cause myocarditis. So she ends up dying at 10 years old of this. In the year 1926, he emigrates to the US, settling in Zephyros, Florida with his sister. And later, his wife and his two daughters join him. The following year, 1927, he leaves his wife and kids. So this is before his daughter passed away. He leaves his wife and kids to accept a job as a radiology technician. So he moves from Zephyros to the Key West in Florida. And for just to give you an idea, it's about more or less about 350 miles. So by car, it takes 7.5 hours to travel. Okay. On April 22nd, 1930, while working at the Marine Hospital, that's where he was a radiology technician, he meets a 20-year-old named Maria Elena Milagro de Hoyos. Now, Maria is described as being very beautiful, and she's known in the Key West as a local beauty. So everyone knows her as a local beauty there. Okay. She's like the most beautiful woman that is in that town. Now, she was born in 1909, and she was a Cuban American daughter of a cigar maker, and she had two sisters. Now, when she was 17 years old, she gets married to Luis Mesa, who would eventually end up leaving her shortly after she suffers a miscarriage. Now, Maria Elena was diagnosed with tuberculosis, and with my research, it said that a lot of people in her family ended up passing away of the exact same thing of tuberculosis. She was diagnosed with tuberculosis and was going in for treatment when she met George. Now, she was 20 years old when they met, and he was 53. Okay. Now, when George saw her, he saw this beautiful, dark-haired Cuban woman. And when he saw her, he knew he was literally looking at the woman of his childhood dreams. Now, when George was a kid, he used to say that he would be visited by a dead ancestor of his, where she would reveal to him the face of an exotic, dark-haired woman who would be his true love. So when he got married to his first wife, he's like, oh, this is my wife. But he knew that he had a true love of his life who he was meant to be with because of the visions that this ancestor would give him when he was a child. And when he saw 20-year-old Maria Elena, who was a dark-haired, beautiful woman, he said, oh, that's the love of my life. Okay. Now remember, they met at the hospital where she goes in to get treatment. Now, when he sets eyes on her, he knew that they were meant to be. He tried to cure her with a variety of treatments, remedies, x-rays, and he would even have medical equipment taken to her parents' home. Okay. He would shower her with gifts of jewelry and clothing. He would confess his love to her, but it's never reported that she ever felt the same way back. So he would always give her presents and tell her how much he loved her, and she never responded back the same. Now, she did die of tuberculosis in her parents' home in Key West on October 25th, 1931. And George would end up somehow convincing her parents and her family to let him pay for her burial. So the family didn't have a lot of money. The dad was a cigar maker. Now he used to work at the hospital, so I guess he had extra money in hand. And he convinced them to let him pay for her burial. They said, yeah, sure, go ahead. And he ends up getting an above ground mausoleum constructed for her, I'm sorry, and I'll show you guys a picture after, in the cemetery. Do you guys know what a mausoleum is? So you know how I'm pretty sure they have them in Mexico. It's kind of like, it's like a family mausoleum where it's like a big room, and then I know how y'all know. I know how you know. You know a Vampire Diaries?
Okay, now yeah.
Where Stefan and his family are buried.
Yes.
Okay, just like that.
There's like a casita where it's just the grave.
It's family. Just like it's supposed to be for families. You get it built, and all your family members are put in that same mausoleum, right? Mm. So he built her one of those. Okay. Now, he would end up visiting her almost every night for the following 2 years at the mausoleum. He would go at night after work, and he would talk to her, and he would say that her spirit would actually go to him and sit with him and tell him to take her home with him. This is what he's saying in an autobiography. Mm-hmm. That he would go and sit with Elena those 2 years, and that her spirit would go to him, sit with him, and say, take me home with you. So on April 1933, George Tanzler crept through the cemetery at night where she was buried, and he removed her body from the mausoleum, and he would cart her body through the dark cemetery on a toy wagon, and he took her home.
What?
Yes. He took her body home 2 years after she has passed away. Okay. So 2 years after she's passed away, the body is already in some form of decomposition. Probably not as bad because it's an above ground mausoleum. So they probably embalmed her or something. I'm guessing. I'm not even sure. It doesn't say. But it says that he attaches her body's bones together with piano wire. He ends up replacing her eyes with glass eyes. And as her skin begins to decompose, he replaces it with silk cloth soaked with wax and plaster.
He reconstructed her.
And when her hair fell out from her scalp, he knew, or he guessed, or he was, I guess, pretty much hoping that her mom would have some of her hair from a prior haircut before she was sick. And he ends up convincing her mom to give him the hair she had.
What?
Yes. So he ends up making a wig for her from the hair he got from her mom.
She
Now
had that much hair.
I guess so. Or maybe just like the front part, like the most important part, like the front where you can see, and the back was maybe bald,
Oh,
or
there's something.
maybe just fake hair. He ended up filling up her abdominal and her chest cavity with rags that would keep her shape. And he would dress her in stockings and jewelry and gloves, and he would keep her body in his bed. So he would sleep with her every night. And it is said that he put a tube in her private area in order for it to allow them intercourse.
What? Oh my
Yes.
God. That
Yes.
sounds very extreme.
He
Yes.
is
Oh
perfect.
my God.
Yes. Now, he would use large amounts of perfume, disinfectants, and preserving agents to cover the odor of her body.
I
Because
was just
imagine
about to ask that. Like, what about the smell?
that he would cover her in all of that so that he wouldn't have the smell of her. Okay. In October 1940, this is 7 years after he has taken her from her grave. 7 years. So she's already been dead 9 years. Okay. Her sister, Florinda, ends up hearing rumors that he's sleeping with the body of her sister. Yes. Now she confronts him at his home, and it's said that she ends up seeing her sister's body. Depending on what research you do or whose podcast you hear, they say different things on how she saw it. Some say that the door was open and she walked in and he was singing to her sister's body. Her body was on the bed, and that she leaves running, screaming because she saw her sister's dead body. Some people say that he invited her in, and he ends up telling her like, "Oh, your sister's here. Do you want to see her?" And ends up taking her to the room to see her sister. So the stories aren't 100%, but she does end up seeing her sister's body somehow. Now she ends up running off in horror. She tells the cops. And not only that, but before she confronted him, he was seen dancing with her corpse in an open window. So the neighbors ended up seeing him dancing with a woman's body in front of a window. And they had even seen him go throughout town and buy women's clothing.
God.
And they thought, well, maybe it's for him, but no, he doesn't seem like the type. But none of the neighbors ever saw a woman go to his house or leave his house, so they didn't know what was going on. But now they confirmed that all that was for Elena's body that he had. Okay, so he was arrested and he was psychiatrically examined, and he was found mentally competent to stand trial on the charge of, and this is per quote, wantonly and maliciously destroying a grave and removing a body without authorization. The charge was dropped and he was released because the statute of limitations had expired for the crime, because he had already had her body 7 years.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, her body, once it was recovered, they actually ended up putting it on display at a funeral home for a little while, and almost 7,000 people went to visit her to see her body.
To see what he did to her.
Yes.
For
Yep.
her, she never got rest in.
Yes. So once she was returned to the cemetery, her remains were buried in an unmarked grave so that nobody else would tamper with her body, but more specifically so that Tanzler wouldn't, tamper with her body.
Yeah.
And he was released. And once he was released, he ended up moving to Pasco County, which is really close to where he used to live with his wife. You guys remember he had a wife and 2 girls? So he ends up moving back there really close to his wife. And it is said that she ends up kind of helping him, supporting him financially. So other people say that they got back together. Some people say that she just helped him out financially. But anyways, they remained in contact once he moved back to Pasco County. Okay. On July 3rd, 1952, at the age of 75 years old, he died. Now, he was found 3 weeks after his death in his home, and he was found in the arms of a life-size doll of Maria Elena. Now, it's rumored that he may have switched the bodies, a doll with the real body of Maria Elena before it was buried in an unmarked grave, or that he even somehow was able to have someone return Maria Elena's remains to him in secret.
Oh my God.
So when he ended up moving, nobody knows if it was confirmed that it was her body or if it was a doll, life-size doll that he had constructed of her, like pretty much identical. But it is said that he died with the real body of Elena. Yes.
Yo.
So this is the story of Maria Elena and George Tanzler. And it said some people think that the case is romantic because they say, oh, you know, he thought it was meant to be because since he was a child, he would get visions of this woman. And then some people think it's right out psycho.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think it's kind of
When-
like psycho.
I do too.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. It is so bad. I'm going to end up putting videos. Oh, I can't even show you guys because my phone doesn't work. I'm going to end up putting videos up, pictures up of her, but let me see if I might be able
What's
to.
her name?
Her
You're like,
name
oh, let me
is,
look it up.
you got it.
Look it up, Sissy.
Her name is Maria Elena Milagro de Hoyos.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
And yo no me pongo a pensar como like, dude, ¿cómo puedes aguantar el olor? Y no nomás fueron un tiempo, fueron años que hizo esto, you know what I mean? Like,
So
Yes.
this was the real one.
So that was her
oh,
when she was young. Okay.
And this is what he made.
Ay, güey.
Yes.
No manches.
Yes. Glass eyes, cloth
Oh,
face.
God. I would not want to sleep with that.
Yes,
That's
dude. But it's like, but then the thing that kills me is like, how was he so obsessed with her and he was still able to pass a psychiatry examination? You know what I mean? And that's him.
This is the real her.
Yes.
Oh,
That's her when she was returned, that she was put on display.
that's crazy.
Yes. Yep. And for our viewers, I'll be putting the videos up. I'm sorry, the pictures up. I keep saying videos. But yeah. Had you guys heard that one before?
No, I hadn't heard of that one. This one's new to me.
Yeah, it's new to me too.
Yeah,
Yes.
I was actually surprised. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, dude.
You did it, Esmeralda. You actually got us this time. 'Cause
Yes. I
we were
surprised you
actually shocked.
guys.
Well, you know what that kind of reminded me of is just like how filthy some people can be. Like,
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
crazy because I don't know if you guys know, but when Marilyn Monroe died, her body was supposed to be taken to the coroner, and it took 6 hours for them to take her.
Why?
And it is said that men essayed her body
Oh my God.
to say that they slept with her.
Uh-huh. So
Hmm
that's ridiculous. That's disgusting. Like they have no respect
But
for like the death, you know what I mean?
no. But it's like, what is the point?
I know.
Like this guy, I think he was mentally sick
Yeah.
because I don't think a normal person would go to that
the
extreme.
Yeah.
Dude, to replace her face, to replace her eyes, to stuff her, to put
No,
a
and worse, just like
tube,
do things with her too.
her
Like,
smell and
But you
everything.
know
It's like,
Yeah.
it's probably more common than what we hear about, because if you ever watch like a lot of movies, when someone is so obsessed with
a
the other
person.
person and that person passes away, like they somehow either keep the body or they find a way to get the body or they like mimic the body.
That is so
So
weird.
it's like, it's nasty.
Yeah, it is nasty.
I know. I don't know.
Like the
That
fact
is
that he had
nasty.
to disinfect her, put perfume on her. No.
It's because if he was doing all that, because the smell was bad.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, her body was already gone 9 years. Like,
Oh,
how meat, like fresh meat without being cooked, if you leave it in the fridge for a week, 2 weeks, it starts to smell.
oh yeah.
And that's in the fridge.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine having it in your bed at home. Oh no,
I
that is
know.
so nasty.
And was he still showing up to work like normal?
Yeah, yeah. So his life was normal. His life was normal. He would go to work, he would come home, and he would lay with her. He would dance with her, according to some people. He bought her new clothes, even though she was dead. Like, he would still put jewelry on her. He would do everything like normal, except she wasn't really there. It was just her body.
Mhm.
Yeah, to the point where that when he went to trial, they had to do a psychiatric evaluation, and he passed.
Well, he was a doctor.
No, that's the thing. We get confused because it says that he tried to cure her, but he was only a radiology technician.
Mm.
He wasn't
Oh,
a doctor. But he self-proclaimed himself to know what he was talking about, to
Yeah.
know how to cure her. So he tried, but he was unsuccessful because he wasn't a doctor. He didn't know what he was doing.
And plus, I guess he wasn't, no estaba enfermo then. He was just like nasty then. Because if he passed the evaluation, then it's because no estaba loco.
wait, so he ended up making an autobiography of this?
Yes. So he made an autobiography when he was in the concentration camp, in which he ended up getting transferred to a jail that was kind of like in the movies, like in, oh my gosh, what's that movie with Leonardo DiCaprio, where he's like in an insane asylum, and it's a tower with a cliff. No, anyways,
I'm like,
it was a prison where it was on the side of a cliff, and it was said that he was building a boat to escape it. And another, he wrote it in his autobiography, and it was later confirmed this was true by another cellmate of his, because the cellmate said, yes, I was going to escape with him on the boat. And then once this happened, that he went to jail, that he went to stand trial, I believe he did another autobiography. Yeah.
yeah, that's crazy.
Yes,
So he was just plain writing about it and all this stuff?
I guess. I guess so. I'm not sure, because I didn't read the autobiography. I don't want to read it. I'm not
We
too sure.
should. Actually,
I
we
don't-
should, just to see hasta donde llega, like his mentality, how he thinks, like
yeah, I don't know.
en otro respecto.
Yeah, I don't know. Let me see because it was okay. Hold on. And let me look right here. So I guess it wasn't a book. It says in 1944, he wrote an autobiography that appeared in the pulp publication Fantastic Adventures in 1947.
47 and he died in 50 something?
And he died in 52.
Ya
Yeah,
estaba
but
bien.
think, this was back in what? 1940. So if he's getting a psychiatric evaluation in 1940,
Mm.
really, how good was the examination back
Yeah,
then?
quién sabe cómo vayan a estar.
Compared to now,
Mm.
I don't think he was mentally stable. I think if they would have done a psychiatric evaluation on him now, they would have said he wasn't stable enough to stand trial.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, ladies, that is my case for today.
That was crazy. That was like shocking, like, pero cochino crazy.
Yeah. Sucio.
Like,
I
ay, sucio.
That's why when we were talking about embalming last week, I was like, oh, I know the perfect one. I know what
Yeah.
I'm going to talk about.
So you had heard about it before, like way
Mhm.
before that?
Yeah, I
Oh.
had heard about it way before. But if you look up, there's like there's a few videos on him, but not too many. And then it's actually his name, he ends up when he moves here to the US, after everything that happens that he went to trial and everything, he ends up changing his name and he's known as, I will tell you right now. I believe it's Carl von Kassler. Count Carl von Kassel. That is what he ends up being known as. Count Carl von Kassel. So I believe you can Google his real name, which is the one that I was speaking with, George Tanzler, but he ends up changing his name to Carl von Kassel.
Yeah, because some of the pictures that I found, it said Carl Tanzler.
Yes, Tanzler. Yeah. Yeah, because he ends up changing his name. But yes, for those out there, don't be obsessed with people. I'm talking to you.
Yes. At least not to
Don't get
that.
obsessed.
Not
Don't
to
get
that.
obsessed.
Yeah.
If they don't want you back, there's more people. There's more
Yeah.
people out there.
Yeah.
Definitely. Alive. People alive.
Alive.
Con carne y hueso.
Yeah.
Con
People that can
ojos y
actually
todo.
hug you back and
Yeah.
feel warm.
Yes.
Yes, that is my episode for today.
Que no pueda, que a lo mejor no huela tan feo. A lo mejor sí huele, pero no igual de feo.
Oh gosh, I know. Y si huelen, diles que se bañen. It's fine.
Sí.
Have them take a shower and they'll smell fine.
Yeah.
They'll be okay. But yes,
You gotta do all that.
I
No,
know.
that's crazy though. I know.
I know. When I first heard it, I was like, "What the fuck? What is this? Who would do this? This shit
Yes.
is crazy." But yeah, but that man was old and gross, and he was not medically okay. And then when I heard that supposedly the wife had taken him back,
Yeah. Or
or
maybe
that the
she
wife
maybe lo
helped
hizo por los
support him,
kids también, maybe. Maybe since they
yeah,
had kids, que haya dicho, well, I'll help him, like maybe he's not, no está muy bien de la cabeza, hay que ayudarlo.
I
Y por
guess.
los
But you know
niños.
what? She got a nice heart then, because I wouldn't.
Yeah, she does.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't do that.
I would have
Not
kept the
after
kids
hearing all the
away. I would have
crazy
been
things
like,
he did.
no.
Huh?
Not
Tina?
after hearing all the crazy things he did.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. Like, no, I couldn't. I mean, ya. Don't come back.
Yeah. De retiradito, esa gente de retiradito.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
well, at least we know there's
Hang
all
out
types
for
of
that
cases
type
out
of
there.
I know.
Oh, we have visitors.
appearance. Don't laugh if she knocks out. She's a fast sleeper.
She's like, ya me aburrieron. Déjenme dormir.
I know. She's like, are you done? Are you done now?
She's like, I need attention, Mom.
She's waiting for me to take her last time outside
No.
before we go to sleep.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything you guys want to add?
No, I just think it was very crazy. This story was crazy. It wasn't a scary story, but it was just like, como así como de, como que
It's
te
kind of
quedas
like
así.
gruesome, huh?
Sí, yeah.
It's
Sí,
kind of gruesome.
yeah.
You know
When you
what that
think
kind of
about it.
reminded me of? Have you seen the movie House of Wax?
Yes.
No,
You've never seen it?
I've never seen it.
So you need to look it up. See if you can still find it because it's a pretty old
Yeah,
one.
it's pretty old. Pretty
But
old.
what it is, it's like, I guess they're like actual people and they just dip them in wax.
Alive?
Yeah, so they're like stuck like that. So the only thing that moves is their eyes, like to certain people. And I remember there's like a scene where I think someone like kind of accidentally hits one of their cheeks or something falls on one of the person's cheeks, and you just see like skin, and then you see the actual bone and stuff, because they were
No.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
real people.
Oh my
That was kind of
God.
crazy too. Esa película estaba media.
Yeah, and it was like I don't know, because I think I'm kind of confusing movies now, but I think it was like in a abandoned town,
Uh-huh.
but I'm not sure because I might be mixing up The Hills Have Eyes, and that movie.
Yeah.
I had never seen The Hills Have Eyes even.
You have not.
I don't watch scary movies. I don't
That
watch
one's
scary
cool.
movies. I don't watch scary movies. I'm like, I don't know. I can't watch them. I get too creeped out, especially
was.
paranormal stuff.
Oh my God, this movie is hello. It's from 2005.
Dang.
Y sale Paris Hilton y ellos
Yeah,
también.
Paris Hilton comes out in it.
Yeah.
Have you guys heard of that show that I think she funded it or something like that? Like a documentary that when she was younger, they sent her to like this school and a bunch of bad stuff happened to her.
Who, Paris? Paris Hilton?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
I haven't
That,
seen any-
yeah, so that it's saying, I just heard this, okay? I don't know if it's factual, but I just heard this that a lot of people think that she's dumb, que es media titiri, but because that's her personaje that she shows everybody, but that she's actually like super smart. She's actually
Yeah, she's
really
super smart.
smart and she's not ditzy at all, but that she just lets the world think that. But that she had a really rough life, I guess, like growing up, and that they ended up sending her to that school and they did like a bunch of crap to her, a
Damn,
bunch of bad stuff to her. Yes, and that they funded it. I think it's on Netflix.
I'm gonna have to
Yes.
look at it.
Let me see. Let me see if it'll come up because let me Google it real quick.
I think yo creo que muchas personas así tienen como su personaje, ¿no? Que like they make them believe que están todos mensos, but in reality they're pretty smartish. Like,
There are some people that play a part just to get away with certain things.
right?
They
Yeah.
get away with.
Okay, so yeah, on Netflix, it's a documentary called The Program.
Hmm.
Yeah, and she was a big advocate for it. That's what it was. She was a big advocate for it because she went to a school like that. Yeah.
Oh, I think I started watching it and then I stopped.
So I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it. I just heard of that. Right now, you guys are talking about Paris Hilton.
The program.
Yeah.
Once Colton kidnapped. Yeah, I haven't seen it. Looks like somebody started it. I wonder who it was.
Who started it but didn't
You know,
finish?
like who started watching it without me?
I know. But yeah, I've heard, I don't know, I haven't seen it. I haven't heard nothing about that documentary, but I heard that she was like a huge advocate for it because they did that to her. Yeah. I just don't know if that's kind of like the same thing. You know how a lot of students say, or a lot of kids say that when they were younger, they were like kidnapped in the middle of the night with the parents' permission. They were taken to like the woods.
Oh yes.
Oh,
Have you
that's
heard of
what
those?
There's
that's
actually
program.
a program about that, right?
I think that's the Netflix. That's what it's about.
About those schools? I wasn't sure if it was the same thing or not.
Yeah, because if it is the correct one and that's what it's called, I started watching it, and that's the one where like now they're adults and they're like, yeah, my parents said that they gave them the okay to just go in there and wake me up or something like that,
Yeah.
or my parents came and dropped me off, like they actually dropped me off and all this stuff.
Oh,
Yeah.
damn. But they were
But
like
I don't
super
know if
troubled
that
kids,
one. I
huh?
don't remember seeing that one, but I do remember a show like that you guys are mentioning, and I watched it too. Y era ya con adultos también.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they go back to the school and they're like looking up all their files.
Y ya está todo tirado en el piso and everything,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
But the place still had their files.
Yeah, like all their files, everything, all their info.
So, Rosa, you were the one that started the show.
I
Yeah.
probably didn't. I don't even remember, right? I'm over here blaming everybody.
Blame everybody in your household.
You're like,
You
who
did
did it? It was
And
you.
it's me.
You're like, oh, wait. I
I'm
know.
like,
Oh,
okay,
gosh.
Se
Damn,
me da el
that's so
rollo.
messed up. That's so messed up.
I know, that's crazy.
I know. I
Was
think
this?
You know, dicen that like kids have died out there and everything in those programs of dehydration and stuff like that.
Que los abusan pues también. Les hacen muchas
Yeah,
cosas.
that's so sad.
I know.
That's really sad.
Y eso sí está creyente también, que les pasa, you know, eso sí sigue sucediendo todavía hasta el día de hoy.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I
Not
could do
as
that to
much
my
though, because there's
kids.
more help now, right? But
Yeah, I don't know if I could do that to my kids.
no, aquí en la casa irá con la chancla. Desde la casa
Be like,
sin
¿qué dijiste?
sí,
Chancla.
sí. You
I
don't need to
know.
go no place. I got you right here.
Ha!
Yes.
You'll slave clean my house instead of the woods.
Yeah, you don't
You
need
want a
no.
boot camp? We'll make one at home.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is so sad. But all right, ladies. Well, unless you guys have anything to add, I think that's episode 5.
I was gonna ask you guys, like, how did you guys do last week? Like after the episode that we did, were you guys like sleeping well? Because I want to update you guys. We did actually send Esmeralda some pictures of Pascualita.
Yes, they did. I was scared to open it. I just see
waited a day.
messages. I just see
I waited a
messages,
day.
and I'm like, I don't want to open this. I'm scared to open the messages. I did not want to open it.
I
was
saw
scared.
mine though.
I put it in the video.
You did.
And I deleted them right away.
I
said,
did
I
that.
am
I
not
did.
having them on my phone.
Well,
I am not having them.
My history too, and for some reason, Pascualita like came out of nowhere again. That's why I sent you guys the video.
I know you
Oh,
sent us a
no.
video days later.
Oh no, that scared me. I was
I
like,
know.
don't make. I was posting the pictures and I was like, don't look at me.
You're like, don't make eye contact with me.
Yes, no. I was like, oh no, no. I was scared.
Yeah.
I was scared. Mm-mm.
I know.
Sí dormí, but I was scared.
Yeah. Yo también dormí, pero ahí con mi crucecita ahí al lado. Y ay, Diosito, perdóname por haber hecho esto. Déjame dormir bien.
Okay. All right. Well, that is our episode for today. Next week, China will be covering a case. We don't know which one yet. He hasn't told us, so we'll figure it out. But we hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys liked our video, go ahead and like it, comment, subscribe, and hopefully you guys continue enjoying our videos. Okay? Cheers, ladies.
You guys can tell us what stories to cover or read.
Yes. Tell us what stories.
So
China, I see you watching me.
You're like, you better drink up. Thank you guys for
I did.
watching another episode. We hope you like it and you keep watching and letting us know what you guys think.
Yes, and if you guys want us to switch it up more often for the leyendas, myths, scary stories, we can start looking those up, or maybe we can even talk about like scary movies. Like last week we got stuck.
O historias de ellos mismos que nos quieran que contemos.
Yes.
Historias de ellos, las contemos aquí. That would be cool too.
I'll be putting our email on our YouTube channel. So if you guys want to email us a scary story that you guys have, or even something, if you guys know any specific cases, if anything has happened to you guys, anything suspicious, let us know and we'll be able to read your guys' story on the podcast. Okay? All right, ladies. I'll talk to you guys next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.